My beloved child, you desire for your body to be healed, yet the choices you are making are causing that very body to cry out in silence. Not every cry becomes a word. Some cries speak through the long ache that won't subside, through the mornings when you must sit for a while before you can stand, through the nights you toss and turn and assume it is merely overthinking. You look in the mirror and see exhaustion, but you call it normal. Your eyes feel heavy, your shoulders stiff, your head weighted as though bearing stone, and yet you tell yourself, everyone feels this way. I look deeper than the labels you place on things. I see every thread of strength I wove into you being pulled away little by little through the small decisions you repeat day after day. These choices are like someone slowly turning down the wick of an oil lamp, lowering the flame bit by bit until the room still seems lit. But the fire flickers weakly at the tip. You ask me to pour more oil, but I have come to tell you this clearly. I heal your body by first healing what you choose. So I ask you, with what is your oil jar being filled? And for what is it being spent in your bedroom long past midnight? The glow of the screen still shines across your tired face. The phone buzzes with notifications even as your body has whispered many times, enough. The chair that has held you for hours knows the shape of your back better than you know the rhythm of your own breathing. Your body does not scream. It sends quiet signals, a tightening in your chest, a shallow breath, a brief pain that disappears before you acknowledge it. You have learned to be silent toward your body, just as you learned to be silent toward the weary places in your soul. You call these things just pushing through. I'll get used to it. It's nothing. But I know this: every time you say it's nothing when it is already something. Your body must brace itself a little more just to keep you standing. Today I have not come to reassure you that everything will be fine if you go on living exactly as you are. I have come to say something direct. I will heal your body. But I begin by healing what you choose. If you do not change what you are sowing, you will continue to meet the very outcome you are asking me to rescue you from. You think I have been silent, but my voice has broken into your days many times. You simply can no longer hear it beneath the weight of what you have stacked onto your own life. I have used your body as a warning board, the sudden, quickened heartbeat when you stretch yourself too far, the lightheadedness when you forget to eat, the lingering headaches after nights spent awake trying to fill the silence with screens, music, words, and worry. Every time this happens, a subtle whisper rises within you. You are moving away from the rhythm I set for you, but that whisper is drowned beneath 100 other sounds. One more task, one more endless conversation, one more video, one more anxious thought about the future. You are like Jonah sleeping in a storm, not because of peace, but because of exhaustion. You are asleep in habits built from running away from tiredness, while your body acts as the ship being battered from all sides. People call you awake. Circumstances call you awake. Your health signals call you awake. But you have grown used to answering with, "This will pass," without asking me where the storm came from or what inside you must change direction. I speak this not to accuse you, but so you may know that I have long been knocking through the signs you assumed were random. Not every weariness is just a bad day. Some forms of weariness are alarm bells of a soul and body speaking in unison. You do not need to phrase it correctly. You do not need a polished explanation. You do not need an answer that sounds spiritual. I only need you to dare to look honestly at what you are choosing. In my eyes, healing does not begin with an instant miracle that erases every symptom. It begins at the moment when the soul stops turning away from truth. You often try to explain to me and to yourself that busyness is necessary, that staying up late is unavoidable, that grabbing any food just to get by is normal, that holding pain inside is easier than facing it. But beneath all those explanations is one simple reality you have used, the freedom I gave you to choose things that are eroding the vessel I designed to carry my light. Honesty is like a long shut door cracking open just enough for the first breeze to enter. The room may still be cluttered, dim, heavy with old air, but that breeze is the sign that the space can change. when you dare to name a habit that is harming your body, when you admit a way of living that is pressing too much weight onto your heart, when you say to me, I know this is not good for me, but I have chosen it for too long. The door opens a little wider. Shame will try to wrap itself around you and whisper, don't look, don't speak, don't acknowledge. But shame is not from me. Shame wants you to hide. I want you to return. Shame silences you. I invite you to speak truth. When you stand before me with empty hands, without excuses or ornament, that is the moment healing begins to root itself. You are standing on the threshold between damage and restoration, between a path where your old choices continue leading your body into depletion, and another path where your body becomes a temple cared for as something that belongs to me, not merely to you. This threshold is not some distant future. It is present in the very moment you hear my words. I will not force you to step forward. I simply make clear that from now on, each decision will either take you deeper into harm or gradually into the light of recovery. What I am about to speak to you is not a set of healthy living rules, but guidance for healing your body beginning from the soul and from the small decisions made where no one sees. Your breath is slowing even now as your soul begins to recognize there is hope. Not the vague kind that hangs on a single miraculous moment, but the hope of a journey in which I walk with you step by step. I will touch the choices you believed were harmless, the repeated meals you skip because of busyness, the times you drink to blur the weariness, the nights you stretch a day far past midnight because silence feels frightening. I will show you the thread connecting these choices to the state of your body today. Not to condemn you, but so you may know that you are not a powerless victim of fate. You have, and you will have the power to choose differently with me. I see two movements within you now, one part defensive, wanting to say, I'm not that bad, wanting to compare yourself to others as a way to soothe your conscience. Another part exhales in relief because someone has finally named what you have only felt but never spoken. I speak to the defensive part. You do not need to protect yourself from me, for I have not come to strike you down. I speak to the relieved part. Come closer, for this will be the part we rewrite together. I do not demand you change in an instant. I ask you to step into the light, where every choice, joyful or painful, can be brought before me to be restored. Healing your body begins with the agreement of your soul, the willingness to let me touch what you have tried to keep hidden. You have asked me to heal your sickness, your pain, your fatigue, your disorder. I have heard every one of those prayers. Not a single one missed. But today I tell you something you may have never considered. I heal your body by first healing what you choose. If I touched only the symptoms without transforming the direction of your choices, you would return to the same place again, crying out from the same wounded ground. I love you too much to only wipe your tears without touching the source of what makes you weep. I honor you too deeply to stay silent about the way you are treating the life I entrusted into your body. So today I speak both gently and clearly. Healing will come, but it will pass through the door of honesty and along the path of new decisions. Let your breath grow a little deeper. Let your shoulders drop a little lower. Let your mind stop defending itself for a moment. I am not delivering a sentence. I am extending an invitation. An invitation to move from choosing what is temporary to choosing what truly nourishes. An invitation to stop treating your body as a tool to be used up and instead view it as a temple for my dwelling. An invitation so that every time you pick something up, sign up for another commitment, or take on another weight, you learn to ask, Lord, does this align with the healing you are bringing into me? If you learn that question, your body will begin to breathe again, not only with oxygen, but with hope. The threshold is open, not the threshold of a single miracle, but of a new journey where I rewrite the story of your choices with you. From here on, everything I speak to you will revolve around one axis. I want your body to grow strong, but I will do that by touching every choice you make, every door you allow to open, everything you cling to, and everything you release. If you agree to follow me deeper, you will not only see your body change, you will see your entire way of living change. And that is true healing. I see the moments when you think your body is betraying you, when in truth it is only sounding an alarm for help. You call it weakness, but I call it a loving warning. Every dull ache, every uneven heartbeat, every time your mind fogs over is not meant to frighten you but to pull you back near me. Your body cannot speak in words, it speaks in signals. And I am the one who interprets them. What you push aside because you are busy, I place before your eyes because I see how precious you are. When you begin to see those signals as companions instead of enemies, you will realize I have been there all along, patiently waiting for you to notice. Sometimes you think prayer alone is enough, but prayer cannot compensate for choices that slowly tear apart your strength day after day. I never told you to separate your soul from your body. I created them to walk together. Whenever you neglect one, the other must carry the weight. That is why you feel weary without knowing why. Your soul is begging for rest, and your body is pleading for care. Both are whispering the same plea: stop before it is too late. I do not come to scold you, but to show you a truth that, if you receive today, will spare you much pain in the days ahead. You once thought my healing came only in explosive moments, a miracle, a touch, a sudden breakthrough. Sometimes it does, but often my healing begins with a word that redirects the smallest of your choices. Not because I am limited, but because I honor the way I created you. I created you with the power to choose, and your body reflects the very choices you make. When I touch the root, meaning the habits you repeat without noticing, you will understand why my voice is strong today. I do not want you temporarily healed. I want you strong, enduring, whole. And that begins where you are willing to look honestly at yourself. You often ask, why am I this tired when I haven't done anything heavy? But I have seen the nights you stay awake without resting, the hours you stare into a screen until your mind has no room to breathe, the meals you swallow quickly as though your body were only a machine to be refueled. You are not failing. You have simply forgotten that the body cannot carry the full weight of emotion and pressure without being cared for through loving choices. I speak with the softest voice I can. You have not grown weaker. You have simply neglected the body I gave you, the body I love as I love you. There are many times you lift your hands to ask me for healing, while those same hands, each day, place burdens on your body that exhaust it. I do not blame you, for I know you are not doing it intentionally. But I want you to understand the healing I give is not only heaven's intervention, but your awakening so that you no longer sow what harms you. If I healed you instantly while you continued the same patterns, you would return to this place again. I want you to step out of the cycle, not merely out of the symptoms. There are mornings you wake and think, today will be better, but then the heaviness returns, not because I ignored you, but because you continued choosing what pulls you back into exhaustion. Your body is like a loyal friend who tries to keep up with you even when you push too hard. It endures patiently until it can endure no more. And it is in that moment that I speak, not to accuse, but to pull you back from a cliff you do not yet see. I speak because I love you, and I love the body I gave you. You often mistake moments of comfort as proof that everything is fine, but some comforts plant seeds of future exhaustion. You stay up late to fill a void with entertainment. You eat quickly to save time. You grow silent when your mind is overloaded instead of speaking to me. These choices are not inherently wrong, if occasional. But when they become patterns, they become invisible chains. I do not want those chains tightening around your life any longer. Part of healing begins when you are willing to look at what you used to avoid. What frightens you is not the truth itself, but the feeling that you do not know where to begin changing. But I did not come to tell you to fix everything at once. I came to tell you that a single turn, a single decision, a slight shift in the mind already opens the door for me to intervene. Today, I do not ask you for perfection. I ask you for honesty before me. What you are feeling in your body right now is not a full stop. It is a question mark I have placed on your path so you would pause and ask me, Lord, where do I begin? And I already have the answer. I speak today not to condemn you, but to reset your compass. For if you keep going in this direction, your body will collapse, but if you turn, even by a single degree, you will feel new life begin to flow into every breath. You have thought I was silent in the times you cried out for strength, but I have never been silent. I have been speaking through the moments you felt utterly drained, through the hours when you could no longer concentrate, through the times you stood up slower than before. You call it being tired, I call it my voice speaking. You have grown used to hearing me through spiritual feelings, but not yet through the signals of your body. I speak in more ways than you imagine, and today I want to open your ears in a new way. There are moments when you feel as if you are separated from your own body. It runs according to the schedule. While you run according to your responsibilities, those two parts drift apart, pulling each other tight until both have nothing left. I see all of it. I have never required you to be strong every single day like this. I only wanted you to be honest when you are tired, and to return to me to be reset. Healing is not about running faster. Healing is learning how to stop at the right time. I know that when you hear these words, you sometimes feel guilty, but I do not speak to increase your burden. I speak to lift it. The root of true healing is not coercion, it is being loved. When you understand that I love your body enough to speak up before it collapses, you will feel lighter. You will see that I am not trying to fix you, I am trying to rescue you. Your body is not a traitor, it is a faithful witness raising its hand in the dark, begging you to listen. And I am answering that plea today with my very words. Your body is not against you. It stands on your side, but it operates according to the laws I have set. And I speak so you can return to what is right. My child, what I am about to say in the next parts will lay the foundation for your entire journey of healing. You will see why I must begin with your choices. You will understand why I touch your identity, your habits, even your smallest reactions. Your body will not be healed by a miracle detached from you, but by the meeting of my power and your agreement. I will open your eyes to see what you have never seen before, that some doors of pain were opened by your own hands, and I have come to close them. But before you step into that, you need to let your soul grow quiet. Lay down your defenses. Lay down the thought that you are bad. Lay down the fear that I am here to scold you. No, my child, I speak with the voice of a father who protects. I speak because I see what you do not yet see. I touch because I long to heal you before the damage reaches a point of no return. Today, you are not being condemned, you are being warned, loved, and drawn back toward life. I see the things you have grown used to calling your habits, but under my light, they are not as harmless as you imagine. They are like hairline cracks running silently through the wall you lean on every day. You call them my rhythm, just how I do things. It's fine, but it is these repeated choices that seem so small, which are slowly wearing down the body I formed with my first breath. You know the night is already late, yet the screen is still bright, and you tell yourself it will only be a few more minutes. Your whole body obeys that self-talk and pays the price. You know the meal on the table has gone cold, but you choose your work over the life that needs to be nourished. You know that drink will calm you for 10 minutes but weigh your whole being down for hours afterward, and still you reach for it as if it were a cheap miracle. And you know your hands tremble slightly from exhaustion, yet you take on more work under the excuse that no one else can do this for me. Each decision like that appears harmless, but they are gentle knocks that loosen the very foundation you are standing on. The cold plate beside the stack of documents, the half-finished drink from yesterday with dried streaks of sweetness at the rim, the chair where you sit so long that your back no longer knows the difference between rest and strain. All of these are bearing witness that you have treated your body like a tool that must keep running without pause. You think I only watch over your soul, But I have seen every moment your body has cried for help with small signals, that slight pinch in your temples, your shallower breathing, your heart skipping its rhythm for a few seconds, then returning to normal. These are not meant to frighten you. They are invitations to stop before a crack turns into a fracture. You do not need me to point out that you are tired. You feel it more clearly than anyone. But I must speak so you will see that you yourself have been contributing to your own depletion through choices you have tried to label as normal. You say, "I'm used to it." But being used to something does not make it right. Familiarity does not produce life. You call them habits, but in truth they are agreements you are signing with exhaustion. Little by little, every night, every morning, every time you say, "It's still okay. I do not want to condemn you, but I will not let you live under the illusion that these small things have no effect. A single crack will not bring down a wall, but your silence in front of that crack might. Even so, I do not withdraw my breath from you because of these weaknesses. I simply expose them so you can see more clearly the life you long for, the strength you pray for, the healing you are waiting on. All of these are being planted into your small daily choices. You want me to restore your body, but first I want you to look directly at where it is being worn away, not so you can blame yourself, but so you no longer walk in fog. You need to see that today's exhaustion is not the result of me abandoning you, but of repeated decisions made day after day. Once you see that, you will know where to let me place my hand, and where you must let go. I know you want me to heal you, and I have heard every silent prayer you have lifted those times you placed your hand over the place that hurts, where no one could see. Those moments you wondered why your strength runs out so quickly. Those times you chastised yourself for not being stronger. Yet you have not noticed that even as you are asking me to mend, you are still making new holes. A water jar cannot stay full when it is still leaking. No matter how much I pour in, the life I pour into you works the same way. I am not refusing to fill you. I simply will not let you live under the illusion that my blessings will remain while you keep drilling into the jar I made. You feel disappointed in yourself when you cannot keep what you have received. You think that means I am slow to answer, when in truth it only reveals that your jar has not been still long enough for me to lay my hand upon it. You want to change, and at the same time you feel helpless as you look back at all the times you made promises to yourself and broke them in the very same day. This does not surprise me. I know you are so exhausted that even your best intentions slip from your hands after only a few hours. But I need you to see that this helplessness is not your nature. It is the result of you using your own strength to plug leaks only I can see from within. A leaking jar does not make a loud sound. It simply wets the ground, leaving people to think the water has vanished without knowing where it went. You are the same. You look at your emptiness and assume I have not poured more, when in reality what I pour is seeping out through things you have not yet surrendered. You ask why you cannot keep your peace, cannot keep your strength, cannot keep your focus. I answer as gently as a breeze, because your jar has not been mended. Not to shame you, but so you will know that no one is asking you to repair yourself. That work belongs to me. But it begins with the one thing only you can do: stop. Stopping is not losing. Stopping is where I finally have room to place my hand. Stopping is the moment when the vessel ceases to leak and begins to hold what it was created to carry. You have been running for so long that you have mistaken movement for life. But healing does not occur while you accelerate. Healing begins when you are still long enough for me to mend what has been torn. You say you desire renewal, and I believe you, for I see the sincere yearning within your heart. But the renewal you long for cannot take place while you continue to treat your body as though it must function regardless of its condition. I did not design you to endure endlessly. I designed you to live. I have watched the hurried rhythm you have called normal, though it is draining your health in exchange for things too fragile to hold your soul together. You do not run because you are strong. You run because you fear losing. You stay awake not because it is necessary, but because you are afraid others will leave you behind. You endure not because you are generous, but because you fear being perceived as weak. These motivations do not wear fierce faces, they wear familiar ones: responsibility, effort, sacrifice. But beneath them, I see a quiet anxiety, like a swift current tunneling through stone, silent, yet strong enough to erode. This pace does not only take your strength, it takes your breath, your sleep, the stability of your heart. You believe you are doing the right thing, yet you are placing your body into a prolonged state of alarm, a state no mind can sustain, no cell can recover from. You have not meant to harm yourself. You simply have not seen that what drives you is not aspiration, but the fear of falling behind. You begin the day with a heart rate already higher than needed, and you end it with eyes that no longer distinguish the glow of a screen from the light of life. I did not call you into a race, I called you into life. But fear has taken you from peace and set you on an endless track. You have traded health, traded the clarity of your soul, traded even the whisper I send to your heart each night. All because you believe that if you slow down, something vital will slip from your hands. What you do not realize is this: in your haste, you are losing what matters most: the peace in your chest, the breathing space in your day, the alertness of your spirit. Today I am not peeling back your layers to hurt you. I am unveiling them so you can see what has been guiding your steps. Anxiety does not disappear when you speed up, it simply changes form. And that very anxiety has been quietly draining parts of you that no one else can see. But I see them, and I expose them not to shame you, but to show you that you cannot heal by running faster. Healing begins when you are willing to be still and face the real reason you cannot rest. Your body has said enough more times than you remember, but you have not listened because you have become accustomed to dismissing every signal as something small. Your heart strains a beat, you call it stress. Your breath grows heavy, you blame irregular meals. You lie awake for a night, you tell yourself you simply slept late. The body does not cry out with loud alarms, it whispers to spare you fear. But because you have learned to overlook the whisper, it must repeat, must grow stronger, must stretch longer, not to punish you, but to rescue you from a way of living that is slowly consuming your strength. Your alarm rings more times each morning, and instead of rising, you pull the blanket over yourself because your body feels weighted like lead. The ache in your shoulders returns so often you have mistaken it for part of your personality. Your eyes burn though you have not cried. Your hands tremble slightly as you work. Your morning steps are slower while your mind still pushes to race ahead. All these are signals I have sent into your body like wind passing through a window to warn those inside that a storm is approaching. I do not send these signals to frighten you. I send them so you will know something must stop before it is too late. You feel embarrassed hearing this because you have sensed it for a long time. There were mornings when you woke knowing you had exceeded your limits. Yet you still stood up, still opened your computer, still pressed forward because you believed duty outweighed the voice of your body. You feel restless because, deep down, you know you have ignored many of my gentle reminders expressed through your flesh. You regret not listening earlier. But regret is not the end. Regret is the beginning of awareness. I do not rebuke you for dismissing your body's voice. I simply want you to understand that body and soul are not separate. When your soul is strained, your body bears it. When your mind is weary, your body twists to endure it. When your worries overflow, your sleep becomes fragile like a candle in the wind. I have seen all of this and have nudged you through small symptoms, hoping you would pause and ask, Lord, what am I overlooking? But you chose silence with yourself. And I do not condemn you for that. I speak only so you may understand that the quiet voice of your body is part of the message I send. The body is the temple I placed within you. And a temple is not damaged only by storms outside, but by small tremors ignored for too long. You must know this. Every signal you overlook is a plea your body sends to me before it sends it to you. You do not realize that everything you consume, food, drink, emotional rhythm, is silently shaping the number of years you will live. Not everything that pleases your tongue is fit for the temple I designed. Some things delight you momentarily yet weigh down what lies deep within. Some things appear harmless but leave behind traces of inflammation, heaviness, exhaustion, things you have mistaken for normal. I do not come to take your joy. I come to show you what truly nourishes you, and what is quietly trading your health for a few fleeting moments of satisfaction. You are standing in a struggle that seems small but runs deep. On one side is the comfort of habits that have been with you for years. On the other is the gentle call of your soul, knowing you must change to live longer, stronger, freer. You know this feeling well. Your hand reaches for what you crave, but your heart sighs because it knows the consequences will linger the rest of the afternoon, the night, even the week. I do not condemn you for this tension. I understand it. For I know your mind is always trying to balance desire with wisdom. But today I draw that wisdom closer, so you will no longer ignore the whisper of life. Both true seeds and distorted seeds can sprout, but only one kind carries the life I spoke into it. The true seed grows slowly, yet with strength. The distorted seed grows quickly, yet weakly, easily collapsing. Your body responds like soil does. It receives whatever you plant into it. But it only bears good fruit when the seed comes from what I designed. Much of the food of this age resembles the distorted seed: attractive, convenient, pleasing, yet lacking true life within. You know this through the way your body reacts: heaviness, drowsiness, sudden thirst, an offbeat heart, a mind turning foggy. That is your body telling the truth. Even when your mouth says, delicious, I have spoken long ago. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. 1 Corinthians 6:1-9. A temple is not nourished by whatever merely looks appealing. A temple is sustained by what keeps the fire on the altar burning. If you want my light to burn within you for a long time, you must choose what nourishes it, not what dims it. I know you grieve the old habits, because they were the things you turned to for a moment of comfort, for sadness, for tension, for loneliness. But you must understand this: what soothes you for a few minutes does not always sustain you for years. The struggle inside you does not push me away. It simply proves that your soul is waking up, learning to discern what drains life and what preserves it. Your mind is like a door that is always open, and everything you allow to pass through it seeks to leave an imprint upon your body. The thoughts you assume only flicker through for a second are actually leaving weight upon your heart, your breath, and your immune system. Bitterness tightens around your chest like an invisible cord. Fear shortens your breath, keeping your body in a state of alarm even when no real danger exists. Self-blame bends the back of your soul, forcing your body to carry burdens I never placed upon you. You think illness comes only from the outside, but sickness often begins with the posture of the heart, where you store what you do not want anyone to see, where emotions stagnate because you do not dare name them. There are wounds you have told no one about, and it is those very wounds that open the door for exhaustion to seep into every part of you. I see the moment you fall silent when someone hurts you, while inside you build a wall that your body must strain to keep standing. I see the moment you swallow your tears, and later at night your heart aches in a way you cannot explain. You call it overthinking. But those thoughts are not in your head. They are in every cell trying to hold what your soul has not yet released. The mind is the door, but your soul behaves as if it were a storage room, keeping what ought to be emptied. Every day you allow bitterness to stay. Your body must work overtime to neutralize it. Every time you keep fear in your heart, your breath must labor harder to compensate. You do not see this process, but I do. I see every night you toss in bed because of nameless thoughts. I see every morning you wake up with eyes heavy as if you never slept. It is the mind pulling the body with it, not the other way around. There was once a woman whose body suffered for 12 long years. not only because of the flow of blood, but because despair had taken root in her heart from the first day no one could heal her. Yet with a single small act touching the source of life, everything in her changed. I do not retell this story to emphasize the miracle, but to reveal the principle. When your heart opens its door to life, your body responds even before you recognize it. When you turn your mind toward the light, every part of you begins to recover. You feel yourself sinking as you hear these truths, not because they bring despair, but because they touch the hidden corners you have kept locked for so long. This sinking is not darkness. It is like the moment the soil softens after rain, allowing the roots to go deeper. You need to recognize this truth so that I can bring healing to the very source, not to blame you, but to clear space for me to touch what has drained you for years. You have carried burdens on your shoulders that I never asked you to carry, and they have been pressing into your body like stones laid on the chest of someone trying to breathe. You believe you are stronger when you carry more, but in reality, you are thinning your soul. While your body absorbs pressure, you do not even notice. You hold fear for your family, your work, your future, for things not yet here, and even for things that are not yours to hold. You gather all of it into your heart, as if letting go for even a moment would cause the world to fall apart. But the world does not stand because of your strength. It stands by my hand. And each time you take on a new worry, you place another stone on your own chest. I see how you try to remain calm when everything falls on you at once. But inside, your breath shortens, your eyes sting, and your head feels wrapped in a thick fog. The body cannot withstand prolonged emotional overload. It reacts with faint aches, weariness, trembling, or sudden flashes of pain that startle you. This is not weakness, it is a cry for help. But you think you must push harder, be stronger, stay quiet longer. You assume I want you to be resilient. Yet I never asked you to carry everything. I want you to know how to lean, how to release, how to entrust, but you have chosen to hold, and to hold until you collapse. In the corner of your room is an old backpack so heavy that one glance is enough to know it cannot disappear on its own. The burden inside you is just like that. It sits there in your most silent thoughts, in the expectations you place on yourself, in the responsibilities you have taken on without my command. That backpack will never lighten by itself. It only becomes lighter when you remove its straps from your shoulders. Yet you keep wearing it even when you sleep, when you work, when you pray. You never set it down. So I have no place to lift it from you. I do not say this to make you sad. I say it so you can breathe. You are exhausted not because you are weak, but because you have been doing the work of two, yours and mine. Your part is to walk, my part is to carry. But you have been trying to do both. You did not create your own body, so you cannot bear a weight beyond its design. I crafted you with wisdom, yet you live as if you were the one meant to uphold everything. That is what makes you heavy, what makes you want to give up, what makes you wake without joy, only with a list of duties. Today I speak this with gentleness. You no longer need to carry the weight. You do not have to prove anything by your own strength. You do not have to keep everything peaceful by sacrificing yourself. I want to lift that burden off you, but you must allow me to touch the place you are holding the tightest. No one will judge you if you lay it down. I myself am waiting for you to let go. For only when you place that heavy backpack into my hands will your body have the room for healing to begin, no longer compressed, no longer blocked, no longer forced to endure what was never yours to carry. There are moments when your body aches not because it is the part that broke first, but because your soul has gone far too long without rest. Your body is merely speaking on behalf of what your heart has not dared to say, that you have pushed beyond your limits, that the deepest parts of you are longing for stillness, that you have run so long you can no longer remember the last time you truly stopped. I saw this long before you noticed it. I saw your breath growing shallow, your eyes burning not from sadness but because they have not truly closed in rest. I saw your heart beating faster on mornings that seemed peaceful, because inside, Your soul was still running even though your body had been still for hours. Body and soul do not operate separately. When the soul is depleted, the body sounds the alarm. When the soul is strained, your shoulders harden. When the soul is tired, sleep becomes fragile like a dry leaf. The symptoms you call small things, a brief stabbing pain, an unexplainable sadness, cloudy focus, unusual fatigue are the first winds signaling a coming storm. I send these signals not to make you anxious, but to show you that what is broken is not outside but deep within, in a place you have not touched for a long time. Your breath deepens as you hear these words, not because you understand everything, but because your soul recognizes truth. Deep within you lies a thirst for rest that you have never known how to name. You think you only need a day off, a few extra hours of sleep, or something to take the edge off. But your body does not need temporary solutions. It needs your soul to be led into stillness, the kind of stillness only I can give. I do not pull you into rest with thunder. I lead you into it with gentle space, where you do not have to prove your strength, carry anyone else, or race against the feeling of falling behind. A place where your soul breathes before your body even begins to recover. If you do not seek stillness, your body will eventually force you to stop in bigger ways, sharper pain, deeper fatigue, longer confusion. Not because I punish, but because your soul has been sending signals you keep ignoring. I want to heal you before those signals become a desperate cry. Stillness is not escape. Stillness is the recovery room I have prepared for you. When you enter it, I do what no one sees. I lift the burden from your heart, reconnect what has been severed, soften what has hardened, and seal the leaks where life has been draining out. You will not notice it at once, but each deep breath will tell you this is where you were meant to be all along. You begin to open your heart to this peace, even by a small crack, and I will use that very crack to pour into you the restoration you have lacked for so many months. Your body aches because your soul has not rested, and your soul has not rested because you have not yet seen the value of stopping. I stop you today, not to delay your life, but to save it. There will come a moment, my child, when the chain of choices that once drained your body will snap apart like links losing their authority. My light will flood the room where your soul has lived too long in the shadow of old habits, a light so strong that inner walls begin to crack, revealing an exit you never dared believe could be yours. I do not tap lightly, I break through. The habits that became your mold habits of exhaustion, neglect, and self-harm will cry out one last time and collapse like rotten wood, not by your strength, but by my power descending upon you. Chains fall to the floor like metal hitting stone, making a sound only those once imprisoned can understand. You no longer need to tremble before the patterns you repeated for years. I shatter them before your eyes. You do not have to struggle your way out. I pull you out. The inner room that once held nothing but darkness opens wide like a sky split open for sunlight to pour in. Everything heavy in you dissipates like mist in the sun. Every sentence you once spoke over yourself, I cannot change, disappears as I stand over your soul and declare freedom. You feel it in your body as though someone has lifted a stone off your chest, as though your heart returns to its true rhythm, as though your breath suddenly deepens without effort. Tears fall not from pain, but from something that reaches deeper than pain release. Your soul trembles as it realizes what is happening is not imagined, not a fleeting emotion, but heaven's intervention in the part of you that did not know how to save itself. I call you out of the chain of choices that made you live as someone slowly fading, and that call resounds through your spine like a command both tender and sharp. Step out. No more darkness holding your feet. No more habits pulling you back. No more old voices whispering that you will fail. Old walls collapse, dust rising, and behind them stands the new path I open, not for you to run, but for you to live rightly. You stand there in the light I have brought, and that very light is the proof that healing has begun not in your body first, but in your soul, freed from the cycle of harmful choices. This is the moment life changes direction. The moment the old loses its power. The moment I speak, and everything in you responds like dry ground meeting water. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Matthew 2:8-20. And it is that very presence that shattered every chain, cracked every wall, opened every way. The freedom now opening in you is not maintained by effort, but by the peace I am pouring over you like morning warmth spreading from the hearth. You have just stepped out of chains, and I do not demand that you run, or prove yourself, or earn what you have received. I only want you to breathe. I want you to take short, slow, gentle steps, like someone who has come out of a storm and is learning again how to stand on solid ground. Peace is not a reward for doing right. Peace is the atmosphere I wrap you in when you begin living right. Like the soft bubbling of a kettle signaling a new day. Like morning light creeping through the window without haste. I come to you in the same way, warm, gentle, unhurried. You no longer need to fear failure. For this journey is not measured by speed, but by my presence in each breath you take. As you step into a new rhythm of life, I will not leave you to find your way alone. I will walk with you in every decision, even in the smallest things you once considered insignificant. When you go to sleep, I am beside you to quiet your mind. When you eat, I remind you to choose what sustains life. When you rise in the morning, I place within you a fresh breath to begin the day. You no longer have to be strong by your own strength. I do not ask that of you. Just as Elijah, when exhausted, only needed to eat and rise, and strength came from what I provided, so it will be for you. Do not strain beyond your limits. Simply receive and step forward. Every small choice you make now is no longer meaningless. It is the place where I set my guiding hand. Peace is not a resting point you visit when weary, but the home where I want you to live. You have grown accustomed to seeing peace as a rare moment amid busy days. But I tell you, peace is the foundation, not the reward. When you live from a place of peace, your body recovers faster than you imagine. Tension loosens. Your heartbeat slows. Your breath deepens. This happens when your soul no longer strains to find peace but moves within peace, like a home after rain. Clean and light. I seat you in a chair warmed by sunlight so you may understand that this warmth is something you can return to daily, not something you encounter only in rare moments. Today marks a new beginning, a body that listens to my voice through your choices, a soul no longer chasing temporary relief, a life in which every action, drinking water, resting, walking, breathing becomes an act of worship. You begin to see hope not in grand events but in the awareness awakening within you. Your inner life brightens like a fog-dimmed path opening under the morning sun. What was once heavy grows light. What was distant becomes near. Healing is no longer a distant dream. It is happening in the way you rise from the bed, in the way your steps soften on the floor, in the way you place a glass of water at the start of your day, in the shoes you set out for tomorrow morning. Every small thing becomes my declaration. You are coming back to life. I am slowing your breath after the surge of movement you just experienced, because no one who has been unshackled instantly knows how to walk with a new rhythm. Your body still trembles with old habits, like a room whose curtains still sway after a strong gust. I come to soothe each part so you may know that freedom does not need to be gripped tightly. It only needs the right atmosphere. When my peace arrives, it comes like the thin veil of evening mist settling on the ground, not loud, not drawing attention, but softening everything that once felt dry. Your body responds to peace even before your soul does. Your heartbeat eases, your shoulders drop, and your sleep grows deeper without you striving for it. I do not ask you to be stronger. I want you to recognize that my strength is covering the parts you thought you had to uphold alone. A new quiet is forming around your soul, not because everything is perfect, but because you are being held. like a child finding safe arms. You do not need to explain or justify. You only need to lean. And I do the rest. You have grown so used to the sound of vigilance, of alertness, of thinking ahead for every scenario. Now I am teaching you another sound, the sound of gentleness. This is when you realize peace is not the empty space between two crises, but my presence filling the cracks where you are tired. When peace enters, the body that has been tense for so long begins to reset itself. Like earth drinking water after rain and returning to its true color, you do not need to hold it correctly, only to remain in what I am doing. I know you fear that you will return to your old patterns, that you will falter and lose this softness. But I do not place your freedom on such a fragile thread. I place it in my own hand, where your weakness cannot undo what I hold. Every small choice you face next your sleeping hours, your meals, the way you treat yourself when tired, I am beside you. You are no longer walking alone through the maze of habits that shaped you for years. I will remind you through quietness, urge you through gentleness, and open your eyes through clarity. Elijah once believed he could no longer go on, until a simple loaf of bread and a jar of water placed beside him became a sign that I was still there. He ate, he rose, and he went farther than he ever imagined. So will you not through great leaps, but through every small act touched by my spirit. The peace I give is not meant to be guarded like a fragile treasure, but to become the air you breathe. As you walk in peace, your body relearns its proper rhythm, like an instrument tuned after many years out of key. Long-held tension begins to dissolve. Fragmented sleep becomes continuous rest. Morning heaviness fades into gentle alertness. This is not a dazzling miracle, but a quiet one, the kind seen most clearly by those willing to walk within my stillness. You will see your body responding more to my gentleness than to your own attempts at self-repair. I am bringing you into a rhythm that has always belonged to you, the rhythm of fullness, not lack, the rhythm of guidance, not struggle. You no longer need to chase standards that drain your strength. I am inviting you into a way of living where every action is led by love for the temple you carry. When you lift a cup of water to your lips, I am there. When you choose to turn off the screen a few minutes earlier, I am there. When you sit still to breathe deeply without guilt for doing nothing, I am there. These small things, which you thought meaningless, are the first stones in the rebuilding of your body under my care. The house of peace I build for you is not a place where you must knock, it is where you enter as one who belongs. In that house, you do not need to brace yourself to survive the day. You do not need to script responses to face your challenges. You only need to remain in me, and I will teach your body how to adapt again to life. You will feel yourself lifted, like one walking on soft ground after a night of rain, each step still cautious, yet carried. There is no harsh command, no pressure to perform well, only gentleness welcoming you back to yourself. Today marks the beginning of a journey in which your body listens to my voice, not through ears, but through its natural responses. When the soul is at peace, the body recovers. When habits shift, strength returns. When you learn to stop at the right time, energy rises like water released from a cleared channel. This new posture of yours is not rigid discipline. It is worship every time you choose life. You are agreeing with me. Let every morning become a reminder that you are living in a new chapter. The shoes placed by the door for an early step. The full glass of water waiting for the freshness of daybreak. These are simple but powerful signs that you are partnering with me. You will see yourself no longer fighting your own body, but beginning to love it the way I do. And when that happens, restoration will no longer be an effort, it will become a flow. My beloved child, as the new door opens and your breath grows lighter, I invite you to do one small thing, just one, to mark that your soul is no longer standing where it once stood. No great stride, no overnight transformation, Simply lay down one choice you clearly know has been draining life from within you. Healing does not begin with a complex regimen. It begins with a small agreement that heaven sees and responds to. If you feel touched, respond with the simplest, quietest action, like lighting a candle in a dark room, one point of light, and the darkness must yield. When you do this, let your heart record one sentence, not for others to remember, but for your own soul to know that today you stepped into life. A simple sentence is enough to mark the border between your past and the path ahead. You may whisper, "I choose life," or whatever word your spirit receives. That sentence will stay with you in weary mornings, in unsteady nights, in the moments you feel pulled back to old habits. It will become a gentle boundary, reminding you that you belong to the abundant life I have promised. And now, as your heart begins to brighten, I speak, step forward, and I will do the rest. You do not need to know the entire journey. You do not need to predict what will come. Just take one small step, and allow me to open the door your strength cannot open on its own. As you step, I will place new strength upon your body, clarity upon your mind, and peace upon the places that once cracked. My child, what I ask today is not a grand act, but an honest response. I will walk with you. I will complete what I have begun, and the healing that has started within you will not be left unfinished. My beloved, when your heart has softened after the long road, I come near with a quietness that only truly touched souls can recognize. You do not need to feel anything special, nor express anything extraordinary. Simply remain here, in this moment, where you and I are present with nothing in between. At this point, healing is no longer thunder, no longer walls breaking open. It becomes warmth, filling the places that had hardened, a gentle space between two breaths. And right there, I call your name softly, marking that today is the day you leave your old land behind. I see what you have endured, the battles you have carried, the decisions that have worn your body and soul thin. But I did not bring you here to repeat those wounds. I brought you here to place in your hands a new beginning, not with a shout, but with a movement as light as a curtain stirring when the wind passes. My child, what I invite you to do now is not a great step that makes you tremble. It is only a small choice, like releasing an old stone into a stream. You do not need to change your whole life in one night, only release what you know no longer belongs to you. I know you fear that letting go will leave you empty, but you are not empty. You are simply making room for new life to enter. I know you hesitate because you have grown used to leaning on the very things that hurt you. But do not fear. No hesitation is strong enough to make me withdraw my hand. If you tilt your heart even slightly toward life, I will take hold of everything else. A great door always begins with a narrow opening, and I do not need your strength to open it, only your willingness. When you put down something old, whether a habit, a reaction, a self-blaming thought, or something that has clung to you for years, I will see it. You do not need loud words, long writings, or demonstrations of resolve. Only a small action known by you and me alone. For the things born in secret often endure more deeply than what is displayed before a crowd. I hear your whisper more clearly than you hear your own voice. I see what you release even before you feel it leave your hands. And when you do this in silence, heaven moves more powerfully than you imagine. Child, after you lay the old thing down, I invite you to speak one short sentence so short your soul can repeat it even on your most weary days. A sentence like a thread connecting you to the life I give. When you speak it, it is not that I finally learn it, but that your own soul awakens. For you have heard too many other voices, fear, guilt, self-reproach. But when your own mouth speaks a word aligned with heaven's will, life begins to fill the places that were dry. I have said, I came that you may have life abundantly. Now you need only agree with that life. After you speak this sentence, I proclaim that you shall step forward, not run, Not fix everything at once. Just step one, peaceful step. Without rush. Without pressure. Without performance. You have grown accustomed to thinking that a spiritual step must be strong, mighty, transforming you instantly. But I do not require that. I want your feet to return to the natural rhythm of life, where even the smallest action can become a spark. As you step, I will steady your heartbeat. As you step, I will soothe the places where your body has strained. As you step, I will correct the patterns of thought that have worn you down. You may not see it, but I am doing it. And what you must remember is this: no step is too small for me to honor. A glass of water taken with new awareness, an hour of sleep given back to your body, a meal not eaten in haste, a moment when you breathe deeply, each becomes good soil where healing takes root. This journey is not built on grand decisions, but on small rhythms repeated with me daily. You no longer carry your body alone. I am in every cell of you. When you lie down, I am there. When you rise, I am still there. When you grow tired, I lift you. When you lose your rhythm, I realign it. My child, stand in the truth that I do not wait for you to be perfect before I heal you. I heal you so that you may be whole. I do not require you to be strong in order to walk with me. I myself am your strength. Today, I invite you into life. The rest, I will do in the ways you cannot do on your own. You need only open the door, I will enter. You need only step, I will lead. You need only breathe, I will renew you. And when you look back, you will know that this quiet moment, this moment no one else witnessed, was when the true healing of your body began. Not with noise, not with dramatic signs, but with the silent response of your heart. My child, I see what lies ahead. I know you will need new strength, new breath, new rhythm, and I step into that life. Do not fear. Do not rush. Do not hesitate. Only place your hand in mine. Only allow me to lead. Only allow me to do what I have long intended to do in you. My child, I am here. May the Lord continually remind you to live each day in His faithfulness and love. Be sure to follow and turn on notifications so you do not miss the sacred and meaningful messages He longs to speak. May God bless you. Amen.